What's up, everybody? We just got done watching the second episode of Game of Thrones, Stormborn. Welcome to Geek of Thrones. And this one was a lot more exciting, I'll say that. It was,
absolutely.
Yeah. If the first episode was a 4, this one I think was like a 7 maybe or something. They, I think, really did a good job on touching base with a lot of characters, giving you a lot of information, what's going on, and you weren't like bogged down as well.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the just from the jump, the opening scene of them, of like Dany basically seeing what Varys or Varys was like made of, because he's been very untrustworthy, and his monologue is so good. I was like, man, because he's been very secretive since the opening, and so it's great to see him just say like, look, I was born on the streets, I was a slave, I don't care who's king or queen, I'm all about the like people and everything, and I think that was like a really cool moment for Dany to see that he cares about Westeros, not about who's in power.
Absolutely. I think we had some mentions in previous seasons, just briefly, where he mentioned he's looking out for what's best for the realm.
Yes.
But that monologue was very powerful. I thought it was incredible how he he didn't pull his punches, he didn't try to lie or, be sneaky, he's not, he just flat out told her, this is how it is, I'm for the people, and I think you have the people's best interest in heart, so I'm backing you, and if that changes, then I'm gonna let you know.
And it was great to see Tyrion, who was like slowly getting scared, because everybody who he's seen in power, they strike with this like heavy hand and don't actually listen. And so he always breathes this sigh of like, okay, like I backed the like right horse in this fight, because she's obviously like a more righteous queen, which is cool. And then we leave there and we get to see the Red Witch has finally shown up, and she's still spewing the same prophecy nonsense that like anybody who will buy it, she's like this like a Jehovah's Witness going like castle to castle at this point, just like selling this moment. And now her prophecy says that, well, maybe it could be a girl as well as a guy. Who knows? Please don't kill me. I'm just. At one point I was really intrigued with her, and now I'm just kind of getting over it. I'm like, yeah. Yeah,
I think it is important still that she mentioned that there's another. That's important.
Sure.
She still thinks that Jon Snow could possibly be the prince that was promised.
Yeah.
Or maybe the two of them combined could be. Maybe the prince that was promised wasn't one person. Maybe it's the two of them together. Maybe it is the Song of Ice and Fire.
So we leave there. We see the wall. There's a letter. It's from Dany asking Jon to come down. It's kind of short, whatever. And then we go to King's Landing, and you get to see Sam's father, Randall Tarley, has been called forth. And folks who don't know, Randall Tarley is like this really amazing war general, and in the books he's talked about a lot. And so Jaime wants him to lead the like troops and everything, basically. So I think that it's a cool way to add like a new dynamic with like Sam's character and stuff and everything. Maybe I'm still waiting for him to go down there and get his like blade back or whatever. So we'll see.
Well, maybe not. This gives him the incentive to do so.
Yeah.
Other than just the betrayal of his son taking their family's sword, now this gives him.
Yeah.
He's got to go almost prove his worth to.
Yeah, and it's weird. It's weird because he's a lot like Ned Stark in the fact that he's very honor bound, and it's weird to see him turn face here, and and she's power over his like incredibly high morals. And then we see Jorah the Citadel, whatever, and we see a small scene with Qyburn showing Cersei that he's invented ballistas, I guess, and he thinks that those are like his new anti-dragon weapon. Whatever. It's. Literally, the dragon doesn't move, and he gets to just aim it or whatever. Maybe it'll work. Whatever. We get to go back to Dragonstone, and we can see basically the 4 women in power right now, and they're all talking around the table, and everybody's giving out their thoughts and everything. And it's kind of cool to see the Queen of Thorns looks to be maybe playing the game still. Because I think she's trying to take on Dany as a new daughter type.
Yeah.
After losing her daughter, I think she's trying to get she sees her as this next big power player, and is trying to get her hooks in here.
She's trying to train her like she did Marjorie.
Yes.
Marjorie was a fantastic player at the game. You know, she knew who to talk to, how to talk to them. She knew when to be seen, when to be heard, to put herself in this position of power. And I think Elena's trying to, like you said, take Danny under her wing and teach her how to play the game instead of just coming in and ruling.
Plus, I mean, any extra scenes with the actress is great. So, I'm totally fine with that. And then we get a much more important scene at the Citadel. Sam has found information on a possible cure for Jorah, who has decided to maybe kill himself, but Samwell comes in at the last second, and he has a very painful procedure to basically flay all the skin off of him. And it's like, ooh, I mean,
just a lot of pus, and then the cut scene after that, and the pot pie. It was.
I will say, shout out to the effects studio there, because it was done incredibly well and just very, very cool. So I would like to see maybe Jorah live through this. Maybe he's a great character, so that'd be really cool. And then we get, like you were saying, it basically segues into Arya talking to Hot Pie. And she finally finds out that the North is no longer under the rule of the Boltons. Yeah, excuse me, yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah. So I think you see that moment where she's outside the tavern, she's trying to figure out, do I continue with my path of revenge? Do I head south and try to kill the queen? Or should I head north and I can finally go home and be with my family? And she makes that decision, and I think that's really great. I'm excited to see another.
So, I'll just hop into her extra scene or whatever. Her dire wolf finally, it comes out, it's not dead and everything. In the books, her wolf is known to have taken on this huge pack of smaller wolves and is ruling the King's Woods. So it's cool to actually see this in the show.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a scene where her wolf Nymeria is angry, aggressive, fangs bearing, and then it realizes it's her, and then it just leaves. Mm-hmm. And I kind of took this as it recognized Arya, but then it saw that it wasn't the Arya that it once knew, and so it just it left because that's no longer its friend, it's no longer its leader. And I mean maybe that's not what the scene was for, but I mean to me it was kind of telling that of her character's overall change and moral progressions and everything. Mm-hmm. So
now if anybody watched the inside of the episode after, I think I don't remember who it was. One of the creators mentioned that.
I think it was Weiss. But.
Yeah, that line that she says after Nymeria takes off and runs the other direction, she says, "It's not you." And they said that it kind of parallels back to a scene where in the first season when she was talking to Ned, where she says she's not this
queen, not
princess
a wife,
with the dress and the frills. She wants to be,
a knight, a swordsman.
You will marry a high lord and rule this castle, and your sons shall be knights and princes and lords.
No. That's not me.
And I think it's, very telling that the wolf takes off and the wolf chooses her own path.
Of not being like a house wolf, I guess.
Right,
whatever.
right.
Yeah. So, I mean, so maybe, and you were saying that maybe that moment of the wolf leaving, Arya realizes that that's not her path anymore either.
That's what I'm thinking.
And so you're thinking that she's going to head back south.
She might head back south. I think
Probably.
She kind of realized she's not the same Arya that left Winterfell, and she's chosen this path of revenge. And I'm kind of thinking seeing Nymeria continue on her own path is going to make her turn tail and head back south.
Yeah. And then we get a scene where John, after finding out that he finally gets a letter from Sam, somehow
that
days later, after Dragons, whatever, he finds out that he now has to actually head south to Dragonstone to talk to Dany, because there is this huge cachet of dragonglass that they need, and everybody in the north is telling him not to do it. He's stupid and everything. Sansa's chirping up at him, and I'm going to say this, I love this, because I am praying that Sansa is going to turn on Jon and try and take over the north, and I think this is a really good step in that direction, because when Jon says, look, that the North is going to be okay because you're like, you know, like you're the new queen here while I'm gone. She immediately stops talking. She's like, oh, okay, that sounds great.
No, don't go. Wait.
And then like Bailey's just got this little smile. He's like, really? Okay. So like I love that he's always scheming, and I love that about him.
He should be
it's
like
awesome.
petting a cat in the corner and like
So
twisting
good.
his mustache.
And then of course the final scene, we get the fleet heading towards Castle Rock. You've got everybody like hanging out, drinking, shooting, you know, and everything together. And then all of a sudden there's this attack, and then Euron Greyjoy shows up like this.
Has the best entrance ever.
lands on a guy, and you get like this really like just brutal fight scene, and it was cool to see finally seeing people going at it on boats and everything, and it was I think it was kind of designed to show that Euron is a really good fighter. I mean it was talked about, but with him taking on both two of
the sand snakes.
Yeah, the sand snakes, and just like taking them out or whatever. Now let me say this though, okay? In the past, when we've seen the sand snakes fight, they have used poison on their weapons, and I do not like that all of a sudden, because it's Euron, they just haven't coated their weapons in poison, even though every scene that they've ever used a blade, it's had poison on it, and it was kind of like a weak thing there for me, because like you can't kill Euron. I mean at this point, you know, but
he's too interesting of a character. I think it's possible that they were just caught off guard, maybe, you know.
Yeah.
They weren't planning a battle. They weren't planning to go assassinate the King of Dorne or whatever, so they didn't have time to coat their weapons in poison. I don't know.
Also, them being caught off guard to me was kind of silly, because every pirate ship has a guy in the crow's nest that is constantly scouting for things not to hit, and I would assume that they would see a fleet coming head on at them or whatever. But whatever, HBO, do.
But it was a fantastic scene, a great battle scene.
Yeah.
And then at the end, we get to see
Theon turn tail again.
Well, we see it's not Theon anymore. He turns back into Reek.
Okay, so D.B. Weiss talked about this and saying, well, like, you know, like a person who went with all that torture wouldn't just all of a sudden be okay. And okay, that's fine. But don't have him fighting 10 dudes at once and killing people when there's fire and blood all around him, and then all of a sudden he's like, oh wait, I forgot, I'm not allowed to be a man anymore, and then just hop off the ship. Have him cower in fear from the very beginning.
Yeah.
And then, you know, and then have a chance to actually save his sister, but like, you know, he's too powerless or something. Don't have him be a badass and then forget that he's not a badass. So it was kind of silly. And then he hops off the boat, and then he's got the same piece of wood that like, you know, Jack had.
Jack and Rose.
From Titanic. Yeah, he's just on it. Whatever. But Euron, to me, I feel like every time that they bring in a new villain, they have to make them more cartoonish, because so Joffrey was this like really cool evil character, and then like they had Ramsay Bolton come on. Ramsay Bolton was like super over the top, like walking around bloody and stuff, naked. He's like laughing to himself, and it was like, okay, whatever. And then Euron's like, I'm gonna go even crazier than this guy. It's like everybody has to like one up the next. So I'm scared that if Euron dies this season, who the hell's coming in next season? Like you know, like the damn Joker, you know, it's just like pop on screen.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So we see that next scene that Jon is finally going to see Dany, and I think book readers and television people have been waiting for this for like 7 years now.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be a really cool moment. I really hope it doesn't happen the very last scene of the show, and they're like, "Oh, how's it going? Okay, click there." Yeah. It's like a whole other week of waiting or whatever.
I want to see them definitely
Yes.
interact. You know, he's going to convince her that there is this greater evil out there, that, you know, the Game of Thrones is not really a big concern because there's worse stuff coming. And I think she's going to kind of shut him down, because this is what she came to do. She has been working for so long to come back and reclaim her family's throne. I think she's going to shut him down, and I don't know that their first meeting is going to go
I'm hoping that there's a sequence where he is near one of the dragons, and they respond to him positively.
Oh, yes.
And I'm hoping that maybe that's like a tell for her to be like, there's something else to him, because they only near me act that way or whatever.
Right.
You know, and so maybe like, you know, as you're saying, I love this conversation. Both of them like, you know, are like full of like, you know, just, you know, guts, and they're talking back and forth. And then she's like, no, this is done. And then he leaves. And then maybe one of the dragons will say, you know, like, you know, fly near him. And then she's like, oh, hold up here, you know, what's going on? So.
That would be fun.
I don't know, maybe. Who knows? Come back next week. More wine, of course, more Thrones. Thank you, Allison. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit us with all your theories. I'm sure there's like 4,000 now going on or whatever. So Only 4 episodes left, right? Or like 5 episodes left.
5 episodes left.
That's it, guys. 5 episodes. Watch everyone. Watch this also. Thank y'all so much.
Thank
See you
you.
around.